Hey y'all, it's Fab Jen. I'm back. Please excuse the background. I did clean it up and then somehow it got dirty again. That's the story of my life. Anyway, we are here back with Makeup 101, the basic steps to a flawless face, and today we're going to be talking about powders. So this should be one of the last steps that you do after you apply your cream liquid foundation. But if you do use a powder foundation, then this is irrelevant to your situation. Let's start off with colored powders. Powders that have color to them are going to add color to your skin or foundation. Now some people may want to use this alone. You're more than welcome to use it alone. You can totally do that. There are tons of powders out there that can just use a powder and go on about your business. Some people like to use powder with their cream and liquid foundation to give them more coverage, plus to set their foundation. And what do I mean by setting your foundation? Pretty much if you have, usually this is geared more towards combination oily, but sometimes people who are normal and sometimes people who are dry do use powder. Now powder is more so to set your foundation so it doesn't move. Now usually it moves, it's because you produce a lot of excess oils, which causes the foundation to break down, which therefore causes it to fade and or move. So if you are normal, you probably more than likely don't need a powder. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're dry, I really wouldn't recommend a powder, especially if you're really dry, because it just makes your skin even more drier. However, there might be powders out there geared to people who do have dry skin. Okay, so the powders that I have here are the Maybelline Fit Me here. I have the True Match powder here, which is a lot of people's favorite, and then I have the CoverGirl Queen Collection powder here. Powders that have color to them can be used on its own, or they can be used in combination with liquid creams to set the foundation. Some people use it to color correct the foundation. Say the foundation's a little too yellow or a little too red, they would use say if it's too yellow, they would use a red powder to counteract that. Say if it's too red, they use a yellow powder to counteract that. It's also used to add pigmentation to the foundation. Say you wear light or medium foundation, it's a good way to add pigmentation to that. Do you need to apply powder all over the face? No. If, say for instance, you're oily here and oily here, you want to apply the powder. This is be more so if you don't want to alter the color of your foundation. You will use a translucent powder and you will set those areas that normally get oily. You don't have to set the rest if you're normal to dry, because that just makes the problem worse and makes your skin more irritated. In general, this is, again, my opinion. This does not mean that it is law. It is the truth. I'm not a professional. I'm not a dermatologist. I can't tell you for sure what this may or may not happen, but this is from observation and from my learning experience. Okay, so you don't have to set your whole face. I set my whole face because I like the way it looks. I like the look of liquid and powder together. It gives a more flawless, soft focused, beat face. That's just my experience. So I use a lot of products in the sense that, oh my gosh, she's putting several things on her face, but the results speak for itself. So that's how I use the powders. You can use them on its own, or you can use them to add to your foundation. Usually the colored ones add color to your foundation, so be aware of that. So if your foundation is perfect and you like the color match, you don't need this type of powder to set your foundation. You would need a translucent powder. Okay, so that brings me to this. I have an RCMA translucent powder here, and I have a Vichy translucent powder here. You can get this at Walgreens or a Derma store. You can get this at your local, probably at your local theatrical store, or online like at Camera Ready Cosmetics, or there's another one too, I can't remember it, but that's where I got this one, at Camera Ready Cosmetics. I believe that's where I got this one. For what does translucent powder do? I bet you're looking at this and thinking it's going to give me a white cast. I'm going to look like a ghost. No, none of these give you a white cast. If you use the proper techniques to put it on your face, you're not going to get a white cast. It's like the banana powder. Banana powder has a color to it, but this has no color to it. All it's going to do is set your foundation. I found that both of these do not give you a flashback. And what that means is when the camera takes a photo of you, it's not going to give you a cast. It's not going to reflect light on you. Now if you use an HD powder, that's probably going to happen. So you have to be very careful how you use those. But these are not HD powders, okay? I find that these do mattify, but they're more so for just setting. It doesn't give you the mattifying effect as a NARS translucent powder does, which you have to be very careful with because it will like suck up all the oils out of your skin if you use too much. And I don't like that really dry look, but if you're really oily, NARS translucent setting powder is something that you'll probably have to look into, because it very little goes a long way, and it just sucks up all the oils. So I have to be very careful, because I've done that a couple of times and looked really dry. So just kind of keep that in mind. But these are really good powders. I'm almost half done with this one. I definitely plan to repurchase this one. And this one I haven't touched so much because I've been really gravitating towards this one. But they're both really good powders. And this doesn't add color to your foundation. It just sets your foundation. The other ones add color, and again, that might be more so personal, whether you want more color to your foundation, whether you're trying to correct the color in your foundation, or you're trying to warm up your skin, which then you need like a bronzer. So that's for a whole nother story as far as bronzer. So that's a translucent powder. Now there are powders that are used to just finish off your makeup, even if you use powders. It's called a finishing powder, and the one that I use is the La Mer finishing powder. And this does not really mattify, it just gives a blurring effect without drying out your skin. It's absolutely beautiful. I've used it all over my face. I've used it under my eyes and T-zone today. It gives a beautiful beautiful satiny soft focus without looking too crazy. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. It's expensive. Does it mean that you need it in your life? No. This is more for if you're I would recommend this if you know what you want out of a powder. If you are experienced and you know what you want out of a powder, definitely upgrade to this. This is really excellent. It looks pinky beige on the inside, but I swear to you, it does not give any color. It's absolutely beautiful. One of the best decisions. Now, there are a few people out there that will say that women of color shouldn't use this because it might give them a cast. I'm here to tell you that women of color can use this. It does not give off any cast, anything like that. Anything. It's beautiful. On my skin tone, it is beautiful, and I'm sure on someone darker it would be beautiful. I use it all over my face and under my under eyes. So whoever says that black women can't use this, or women of color, if you're tanned, if you're lighter than me, darker than me, you can use this. So if you ever want to go and try it out, I highly recommend it. It's one of the best finishing powders I've ever seen. Now, MAC Mineralized Extra Dimension MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finishes can be used for a finishing powder. I have done that, and it gives a really nice glow to the skin, but you have to be careful because if you get too heavy-handed, you'll look too bright. But since it's very buildable, which I love about the Extra Dimension Skin Finishes, compared to like the Becca highlighters you can't use all over your face. I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to look like a disco ball. But with the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish, they're very buildable, so you can build it up to a nice pigmentation, or you can diffuse it out to give you a nice beautiful glow all over the face. So that is in a nutshell what powders can and may not do. Makeup is what you make it. Just because I say I use it this way doesn't mean you can't use it in the best way that suits your lifestyle and your situation. I'm all about exploring. I'm all about do what's good for you. Don't let anybody tell you, blogs, don't even let me tell you that you can't use this for something. For you, don't do anything that's going to damage your eyes or your nose or your membranes or anything like that. Just do something that, hey, I'm going to try this. It shouldn't, and try it. It's like people using orange lipstick as a corrector for their skin. It works for a lot of people. Do that. Whatever works best for you in the end of all ends. That's what you don't let anybody tell you that a certain product won't work for your skin type and your skin color unless you've given it a try. And if you really believe, hey, I think it's probably going to work, or I want to try it, try it. I'll still try foundations that have a glow to it, and Some may work for me, some may not. So I definitely have foundations that have a glow, even though I have combination skin, and that might not be ideal for summertime. But I'm very, very, very happy with experimenting and trying new things, trying new powders. I love powders. I love makeup, as you can tell. Yeah, so that's pretty much me rambling on about powders and rambling on about how much I love makeup. And that's just a general idea. There's translucent powders, there's setting powders, or aka foundation powders. You can use this as a setting powder, you can use it as foundation, and then there's finishing powder, and you can use this all over the face or certain areas of your face. So that just gives you an idea what powders can do, or what in general the purpose or the function of what they're supposed to do for your skin. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I hope this is helpful. Thank you for all your comments and all your support. I really do appreciate every one of y'all. Even if it's a good comment, a bad comment, it's all good. So I will see you in the next video. Take care, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.